In this video, we're going to talk about our experience in conducting informational interviews with alumni in the US. We hope that this can be a very useful information sharing sessions with you all, and we also hope that this can be some sort of guidance to everyone who's interested to find a career in the US. And we want to highlight that this is not going to be a rigid process. I think personally flexibility and common sense are very important in this process. So just try to share our experience here. First of all, how to write this letter, what are the content and what would be things to say and not to say, and what will happen if you're not getting a reply. So OCD have some information on the websites about the format and content, and there are also some MBA students are very willing to help you out regarding what to write in the emails. In general, we start the emails by telling the recipients what we got the contact. It's either through OCD, via the LinkedIn, or through friends. Then you can write about a short paragraph about why this company and why the positions. One thing that I think is really important is that we should always show that you're genuinely interested in these positions, and that the person who reads your email will really know that it is important to you, and he or she will more likely to reply to your email. Following that, you should always remember to follow up in the emails to mention that your request for a phone conversations, which is about 15 to 20 minutes. We learned that one of the most effective ways to get in touch or find connections is through mutual friends. And in the MBA world, these people are called the rainmakers. By getting contact with the rainmaker, you probably save yourself more time because they're going to connect you with the most resourceful people and the most likely that someone's going to get back to you. What happened after sending out your emails? So if you get a response, great. In that situation, I would advise you to really schedule the phone conversation as soon as possible. But we know that the response rate is never 100%. So in the case that you don't get a response, don't be discouraged. Just keep working on it, and probably ask someone to help you revising the email.
So during your first informational interview, you should try to come up with a little bit of small talk topics. For example, if the alumni has graduated several years ago, you probably mention a little bit some new updates happening in Ross. For example, if the football game has been winning quite a lot recently, you can probably give them an update about the Michigan football team. You can probably also talk about a little bit a new professor joining our faculty or any new award that we have won recently. During the small talk process, you can probably start engaging, talking with the alumni more closely, and then start by talking about a little bit about yourself, about your background, what kind of background you are from, where would you like to go in the future. Specifically, you can probably talk a little bit about why you are interested in the company and the role that he or she is currently doing, and then have a few more questions asking about what kind of day-to-day job working on, etc. At the end of the conversation, you can probably ask about if there are any additional referrals that the alumni can recommend to you for your further informational gathering. This can be extremely helpful because the alumni will help you to connect with more people who is beneficial, bringing you a internship opportunity.
So next I'm going to talk about when is the right time to bring up the internship topic during your informational conversation. First of all, I would like to remind you that if the alumni didn't ask about internship, you shouldn't bring up the internship topic proactively, because during the informational interview it should more you want to understand more about the company and the position. You are not asking for a job. However, if the alumni really ask about how is your internship recruiting going on, and ask you about your status or situation. It's fine to like say something about like you are doing what kind of process. Maybe you are still proactively seeking for internship, or like you are during the interview process, etc. It will be pretty okay that letting alumni know the really true situation. So please be honest about like your situation. You never know what kind of support or what kind of assistance they can bring up to you. I want to add another thing is, if the alumni asks for your resume, it's okay to attach your resume in the email, but please avoid to sending out your resume before the alumni asks for that. So that will be really inappropriate, and maybe will leave bad image to the alumni and won't get any reply. Thanks.
Lastly, just some general tips in terms of what you should do when you're conducting your informational interview. First, because it will be over the phone, so you need to find a place with a good reception. Generally, within the Ross building, the receptions are pretty bad, so you need to either go up to the second floor, or I know a lot of people usually just go home when they're conducting phone-related conversations. And as well as you need to find a quiet location that no one's going to bother you. So some people tend to rent out like a meeting room, or again, going home is a very good idea. When you're during the conversation, sometimes the alum will be asking you about your own experience. That's when you go into your 90 seconds or 60 seconds elevator pitch, just a bit about yourself, so be prepared for that. However, sometimes the alums won't necessarily ask you for those information, so what you can do is just try to weave in your experiences with whatever you're talking about, just to show the person you're talking to that you are qualified and you are interested in the job. And lastly, before you conduct your phone informationals, just look up the person that you're going to be talking to, look up the company, look up their personal background, not necessarily work related. Maybe look up their other bullet points in their My Impact profile to see what they're interested in, so that you can build up more of a relationship with them rather than just talking about the job and work. And good luck to you all.